Gail the Planning Girl. Welcome back to my channel. Last week I shared with you my lemon poppy pound cake recipe. That's actually not my recipe. It's from the Food Allergy Cookbook. This week I'm going to share with you a basic cake recipe that you can use for the birthdays and the picnics and all kinds of wonderful things. This is the basic cake recipe I made all my kids growing up years, and I would switch it up for birthdays and holidays. You can add fruits, you can add different extracts, you can add different juices to change the color and the flavoring. It's quite versatile. So it's going in my recipe planner under desserts. It's quite similar to the lemon poppy pound cake if you followed that recipe. So I need a fresh page. I'm going to pull that out and set my planner off to the side. I have with me over here on my left my half sheet notebook. I've written down some different recipes and plan with me recipe ideas. So I have that off to the side here. I also have the food sticker book. Oh, the sun is shining. Do you see that? Ha ha. So I have that because I have some cakes and cupcakes in here, and I think I'm going to use those for bullets. But I have my mom sticker book as well. And as you know, if you've been following me on my channel, I am trying to use up former sticker books. Love them, still love them, but I'm also wanting to use my new March 2019 release sticker books. And I find that this mom book has some fabulous bullets. There's this whole page of bullets I've been using off and on. And if as you flip through, many of the Mamby sticker books have little tiny stickers that you can use here and there as bullets. As you can see, I've used many pages of them. I used all the little bullets that were on this page. I guess I'm not going to be able to show you. There were little bullets here and here, but they're all used up. So like on this page, for example, these little hearts could be used as bullets. They're just little singlet stickers. So I'm not going to get that back in its right spot. I'll stick it there. So as you're flipping through your books, I'm sure you'll find some great bullets. I'm going to leave that mom sticker book open in case I choose to use it. So here I have a Tombow pen. It has a bit of a wider nib, which I like. And I'm going to write basic white cake. And the reason it's basic is because, as I said, there are so many different variations you can make. You can even use this as a donut recipe if you have a donut baking dish. I used to have a donut dish, and sometimes we baked donuts. So I'm going to use this sticker here because it is basic cake. And I'm flipping through. Here are the little cupcakes for variations. They get big for ingredients, so I might just use them over here. I'm going to write serve with glaze. And I'm going to find a different one, maybe this chocolate one, and do serve with icing. And both those recipes are already in my recipe planner. So if you haven't yet checked out those other recipes, you might wish to. So I'm looking at my little cheat. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ingredients. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there's 8. So I could do 5 and 4, or maybe I'll list them all and then put like one over on the side. So I'm going to put these ingredients down. I think I will use the bullets, not the cupcakes, but I might come back and add cupcakes over here. The prep time, I think, is probably 10 minutes. The cook time depends if you're making cupcakes or if you're making a bundt cake, which I would not recommend for dairy-free and gluten-free items. They never seem to dump out, even with xanthan gum. If you can get your GF items that are dairy-free to dump out, I would like to know about it. Leave me a comment below. What's your secret? I never have success getting those dumped out. So the temperature is 350 when baking, and the cook time does vary. I think I'm going to write 25 to 35 minutes, because if you do cupcakes, they're about 22 to 25. And if you do a 9x13, it's about 30 to 35 minutes. The difficulty is quite easy. I'm just going to put it as a 2. And you need GF flour. And I'm going to write C recipe, and I'll share my GF flour recipe with you on another video. All right, I'm going to get going with basic white cake, and I'll see you at the end. Okay, I want to pause for a quick moment, because if you haven't seen a former video where I was talking about being dairy-free and egg replacer, this is my egg replacer of choice. In a little dish, I would put in 3 tablespoons of oil, 3 tablespoons of water, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Now there'll be a chemical reaction and it will get very, very fizzy. So typically I would do this as my last wet ingredient right before I add the wet to the dry ingredients. So this is a separate little dish. Stir this up. The rest of the wet ingredients I usually put in like a 2-cup measure. And then I'd make this one maybe in my 1-cup measure. And then I'd have all of the dry ingredients in the bowl, put in the wet, give it a good stir, add this egg. This is the egg replacer. And then that way, right as soon as it was stirred up, I could get it into the pan and into the oven. So that's why this is egg-free right here. All right, I'll see you at the end. All right, I'd like to talk a little bit about how it became from a basic cake. This is the basic recipe, and you mix all your dry, your wet, and you bake it. So if you want, you can put it in 9 by 13. You can put it in cupcakes. I have never had success with round pans that you have to dump out or a bundt cake, but maybe you will. If you don't need to be dairy-free or egg-free, try it with, this is 2 eggs. So you could try it with 2 eggs and that might dump out better. If you don't have to be gluten-free, perhaps regular all-purpose flour will give you more success with dumping it out. Variations. So we would make the basic white cake. We would add a 1/2 cup of mini chocolate chips and bake it. That's tasty. The chocolate chips melt a little bit, but they stay as chocolate chips. So you have white cake and then chocolate chips. You could make a vegetable cake, like a carrot cake with this by adding shredded carrot to this recipe. Or make it a zucchini bread by adding zucchini to this recipe. And then vary up your spices with cinnamon or nutmeg. With the carrots, you could add currants or raisins, or cranberry orange would be a delicious substitute. And I wrote that over here. When you make these substitutions, you might want to change your water for the juices, like orange juice or lemon juice. That would be the lemon poppy pound cake. One year, Sarah wanted a pink cake, so I used maraschino cherry juice for the water, and that worked out. You don't want to do the whole 1.5 cups, or at least I didn't want to use the whole 1.5 cups. So I only used a 1/4 cup of the cherry juice, and then the other 3/4 cup was water. You could also use your almond milk, your soy milk. Sarah always used rice stream, so that would work. And we would serve it with glaze. I shared that recipe before, and icing. That recipe is also in my recipe playlist. So check it out. I hope that you'll experiment with the basic white cake. If you do experiment with the basic white cake mix, come back to this post and leave a comment below and let us know what you used. I'd love to try something new because I love cake. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you give it a try, and I'll see you next Friday with something else delicious. Bye-bye.